So, who went to the Flix Fest last night? Raise your hand. Of course you did. Of course you did. Now, who knows what OmniFlix is? Ah, okay. So you went to the party, but you didn't know what it was about. Cool, we do those things. Well, actually, if you guys are watching at home, the people that are in charge of putting these together, and if you are watching me, and if you are able to see this in the screen, that's all OmniFlix. So now I would love to introduce the guys from OmniFlix. Sisla, Daya, the stage is yours. You know what to do.
Well, all right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all the cosmonauts in real here and watching live stream. We are glad to be here covering all of the events since yesterday, and we're exhausted and excited. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, no, go. Sorry.
Slides. Okay, sorry. I'll let Abhishek intro himself and deep dive into what we're doing.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Again, as Daya mentioned, it was an excellent feeling yesterday at the Flix Fest. Again, a huge shout out to everyone that came down. My throat is also sore because, that was how I enjoyed personally. And all the 398 cosmonauts that came down, we believe also enjoyed that way. And, before we start off, quick shout out to the Cosmoverse team, Crypto Cito, Basil, Yuri, Fabian, and Kakir for putting together this entire event, making sure all of us are here present today, experiencing all of this. So with that being said, right, today we are talking about quite a few things, but before that, let's go ahead and check out the AV to understand more about where OmniFlix is today and everything that's in progress.
Well, 1, 2, 3, go.
So why did we even play the AV? We didn't want to spend time discussing about all that has been done. Community members that have been observing OmniFlix, following OmniFlix, they've been looking at most of these, but we wanted to summarize all that, for all of you. So let's start off, right? At this point in time, yeah.
So that was a great, video put out by the team. I believe, as Sisla said, we don't want to bore you with all of those, past achievements and things that we did. But definitely, 2023 has been an exciting year for us, going public via StreamSwap, and it was an, exhilarating year. Looking forward to But in the last 1 year, if you look at what we did and what OmniFlix did, we've launched auctions V version 1 and 2, where you could, technically do different types of auctions. And then we launched UI and infra for the game of nodes, the interchain NFTs, the IC711 NFTs. That's soon going to be standard within Cosmos. With the launch of StreamSwap and the DAO and Osmosis as well, that does time-based token transfers for the projects that are looking forward to be liquidate or make sure to launch the token in public. Yep, I'll let Sisla go around into the rest of the things.
Right. So StreamSwap, contributing to the StreamSwap DAO not only helped us as OmniFlix, but also being involved in the ecosystem, working with Osmosis, multiple other team members that came together, to make StreamSwap happen. And, we've had over 7 projects that launched with over 3 million USD that have been streamed and swapped. So that in itself is an achievement when it comes to the Cosmos ecosystem, putting together multiple projects across multiple chains, bringing them all together on the Osmosis. What demonstrates interoperability better? So with that being said, we also went ahead with the launch of the Interact to Claim module, the launch of StreamPay. These are 2 Cosmos SDK-based modules on the OmniFlix core blockchain or the OmniFlix hub. And that led to the complete execution of Flix Drop, that has been claimed by over 25,000 people, 68,000 streams that have been streamed. So what is StreamPay? StreamPay, or I'll just explain Interact to Claim module and StreamPay. So until now, you use fungible tokens to actually get an NFT. Now imagine if you used an NFT to get a fungible token. And imagine that these fungible tokens that you get, you can receive instantly, or it can be over a period of time. So that is the combination of Interact to Claim and StreamPay modules coming together to make sure Flix Drop happened, right? And if that is the Flix Drop, we've had the first batch of foundation delegations, foundation grants program that got executed. We went ahead with the release of OmniFlix TV V1, and OmniFlix TV is a publishing platform for interactive videos, and that has been just released, on September 11th, 9/11. And Cosmoverse, integration is ongoing. We have a DevNet running, and there have been discussions with respect to the Interchain Media DAO. There has been initial progress, but there wasn't enough focus, from our end. So this year, we aim to change that. So if this is the status so far, let's make sure, this is a session where we wanted to make sure we explain what OmniFlix is doing and will be doing over the next few years. And for that, let's talk about extending media, right? When it comes to media, right, all of you watch movies, play games, right? Even in the previous panel, we discussed details about intellectual property, right? Now, if intellectual property is the essence of media, right, what helps, distribute and monetize media better, right? So let's understand a bit more about media NFT distribution before we talk about extensibility or extending media. First things first, current distribution models involve you to sell your NFT. You list your NFT on a marketplace and make sure to give out complete rights or lose ownership of the NFT in case someone buys that, right? Also, current distribution models involve you to provide liquidity, again, thereby losing ownership of your NFT. Then you have what is, distribution that is used either for monetization or to increase awareness, right? Now, distribution can be broadly classified as, into 2 categories. One is distribution for publishing. That's your normal, you create the video, you upload it to YouTube, you publish, you get views, monetize that, and end up, receiving a share of the revenue. Or you can make sure to create assets, a video that someone else can license, utilize in their own content, and pay you for that, right? This is where extensibility comes into play, right? You have licensing as a way that extends the scope of media IP, right? Licensing, extending the scope of existing media IP. So if that is extending the scope of media IP, when tokenized, that is tokenized media IP, becomes a real world asset, that is what this is in the Web3 context. Of course, licensing has been in play since 1600 with the introduction of patents and much more. But in the context of Web3, this becomes an RWA. Now, extensibility, when incorporated into the metadata of the NFT, right, extends the scope of tokenized media IP, right? And that is what we are focused on. And again, this can be classified into two types. These are rights that you sell. Again, list your NFT on a marketplace, 100% ownership of rights or 100% ownership is transferred. If that is one, you have the second model where you can actually just license a set of specific rights that that may or may not carry forward when there is a listing, when there is a transfer of the NFT. But it is, very controlled. It is a part of the 100% of rights that you own that can be licensed. So this way, we are almost fractionalizing the ownership of the NFT into multiple rights. This has been existing in the traditional media world, but hasn't been seen, coming to or take effect within the Web3 world.
I'll add a point. So there is not much practice when it comes to creators who are not well versed with the intellectual property and rights, because most of the organizations that take advantage of these and make sure that they grab content piece for very less premium, and then make sure to split the IP into multiple fractions. Like for example, audio could be distributed in various languages, and a movie could be distributed in various languages. So using these type of fractions, an IP can have its own extensibility to flow further and make sure it is distributed well, and the monetization is bringing back decent revenue.
Yeah. So let me quickly run you through something that has been seen by some of the community members even last year. This is the NFT infrastructure on OmniFlix, and let me see. Yeah.
Well, I think this was presented during last Cosmoverse as well, and we wanted to make sure that we kind of show you how and where we are.
Yeah. And with that being said, I'll quickly run you through this. You have what are your Web2, crypto native assets, digital objects, all of these that can be, IP, AI models, all of these can be tokenized to create an NFT. Now, using that NFT, you can make sure there are non-fungible fractions or fungible fractions, and these, extend into, multiple, or these can be categorized, or non-fungible fractions can be categorized into few types, additions, derivatives, and you have what are your pegged assets or wrapped assets. And if these can go into pools, they can be distributed, collaboratively create a pool of multiple NFTs and distribute that to multiple platforms, right? Where are we today? The greens that you see today are, that is where we are. Those are the ones that are completed. So we have what are non-fungible fractions. We have the additions part, the pegged assets or wrapped assets with interoperable NFTs. And of course, we are ready with the publishing platform infrastructure and, to a great extent, use of NFTs within games. What we are doing today, what you see on the screen, right now is a multi-year strategy. So it's not like we'll complete all of this, even in the next 6 months or 1 year. But at the same time, this is the journey. This is the way in which we are progressing. And of course, there is the community that is, contributing, coming together to shape the vision, right? So with OmniFlix TV, we've had our publishing platform, with interoperable NFTs. We have the pegged assets or wrapped assets in place. Of course, with additions, the native protocol on OmniFlix supports that. So with this being said, I'll hand it over to Daya to explain a bit more about the media infrastructure.
Well, thank you. Since you heard about the IP and the IP fractionalization and the distribution, right? How do we take it forward? How do we realize this or make it a reality? So we've been having the plan for a very long. I mean, as Sisla said, this is not something we thought about recently. This has been planned since 2016 and 15s. We put together a very elaborated roadmap, and we slowly making sure that products that being developed and delivered accordingly. So, well, for us to realize the media monetization and distribution in very efficient way, we have plans to make sure that there is a media layer that is coordinated with different types of apps. It could be D app, C app, regular sovereign app where a creator could self-deploy and make sure that he's self-reliant, censorship resistant, and at the same time he has a community that he can address with. So with storage, CPU, and compute at the core of the media layer, we yeah. Please go on. With the core, we make sure to integrate all of these with the IPFS layer that makes sure to have the storage both for the origin and for the CDNs, and the plugins like Jackal and Filecoin and XYZ could be possible as well. So we use compute to make sure that we have live streaming and transcoding and rendering, for example, taken care via the CPU. And the delivery, as I said, so we use storage as an IPFS, but the IPFS can be both origin and CDN. So we make sure to be, give an option, or the validators of the media nodes, operators can select the capabilities for them to choose and participate in this media layer network.
Yeah.
Next. So, yeah.
That being said, if that is the media infrastructure part, for the validators, for the node hosts, for those that are looking to contribute or get involved by running infrastructure, by making sure they power the network, this is a good way to get involved. Like how you have your Akash nodes, providing compute, you'll have media nodes that you should be able to utilize to be a part of the OmniFlix network. But more on that, eventually.
Definitely, I think we wanted to demonstrate something using Akash, but doing all of these content, live streaming, and XYZ, we couldn't. But definitely, we have a media node, a roadmap, which definitely gives users to go deploy it using CloudMOS and various other tools on Akash, or you could deploy the same on GCP, AWS, or elsewhere. So the choice is up to the creator and the type of sovereignty he expects.
Yeah, and just quick 10 seconds. We utilize the Akash network, the infrastructure, the GPU testnet as well, and experienced a 16x increase in performance, compared to a normal CPU and, within that. And imagine, that with a cluster, completely optimized just for media ops, right? So it'll be insane. At least that's what we believe. And we all, encourage you to be a part of the, testnets that happen and the community activities that happen around it. Now, with that being said, let's take a quick look at the events that OmniFlix has powered, in the last 1 year. So, with great pleasure, I share that we've powered the TEDx event, in India with ticketing NFTs, where there was this opportunity for us to onboard over 200 people just in a span of 8 hours. And these were people that never heard of NFTs, or they might have heard of NFTs, but they never bought an NFT. This was their first NFT, and the process was all seamless. Of course, thanks to MPC, multi-party computation, the Cosmoverse, the in-browser navigation of, or in-browser account creation, and so on and so forth, we were able to onboard people easily. Right? And with account abstraction, with fee grant, with Oddzy, we aim to improve the UX massively, right? So if that is, the Web 2 real-world events, TEDx Hyderabad for, which is the local version of TEDx. You have what is a side event for creators, the TEDx Art Salon, that was powered by OmniFlix as well. And of course, if you've attended the conferences during the summer in Europe, Awesome, that was the first one that happened in Berlin, and OsmoCon that happened in Paris, right? Both of these were powered by OmniFlix, and of course, you see the infrastructure here, the ticketing, the media registration, the ticketing, the registration check-in. Thanks to our partners, Reach Tech team, we have what is the media production, thanks to the Flix crew, the fanatics that made sure to put all of this together, the media ops, or the media that you see on the screen in between, and of course, the live stream. So this was an experience in itself, and very glad to share that we've crossed over $160,000 in ticket sales and ops around media. So this is revenue that probably did not tie directly back to the token, but proves the potential of the infra, right? If this is about events, right, we have what is the next set of things that we'll be working on over the next, say, few months, an year or over that, right? First one, yeah, talking about the first set of things, we are right now working on what is the migration from the Cosmos SDK v45 to 47. That is underway. This is essential, crucial for interoperable NFTs. We'll be utilizing the XNFT module. Quite a lot of changes happening. Interoperable NFTs, of course, the ICS 721 standard. We'll be utilizing the NFT transfer module, which is an SDK-based module as part of OmniFlix, and we'll be interacting with other blockchains, that support the ICS 721 standard. Now, we are working on what is the Cosmoverse DevNet and multiple contracts, within that, which involve publishing, which involve licensing, and something very specific for events.
So we'll be using Wasm mainly for the composability because we believe that assets should stay on native modules rather than on Cosmos. They could technically be IBC'd, but we're more bullish on the dynamic or the composability type of contracts that are gonna soon come on OmniFlix. For example, launch pads, different type of auctions using the base assets, and maybe use the contracts for gaming and XYZ. So yep, we have both publishing contracts and licensing contracts. Publishing contracts majorly to make sure that you publish content to TV, your self-sovereign deployment, or XYZ. Where licensing primarily dealing with the fractionalization and at the same time handling the extensibility for you take forward the licensing and make sure that you distribute more and monetize well. Leaving those aside, we have events. What's current event infrastructure is both Web 2.5, majorly because we're using payments and everything else on chain, but we don't have the the type of details or the nitty-gritties that need to go on contracts. So soon we'll be making sure to migrate the 2.5 version of events to the contract version and make sure to have a lot of add-ons and plugins that creators could use to configure and make sure to run successful events.
Right. So yeah, events, just a small point about events. We have what is the current infrastructure in a Web 2.5-ish model because we've had to support Stripe, right? Of course, if such payment platforms, processors, gateways need to be accepted around the world or supported around the world, we would need something that is like legally compliant. But at the same time, OmniFlix will be working with Cado Money, and multiple other processors to be able to support fiat on and off ramps, right? So that'll be pretty helpful for events, and look forward to seeing that in action as well. That being said, Daya just mentioned about the media infrastructure. So the first step of that is the sovereign media node, where it'll be like WordPress, and you can deploy your own node and run it on your local system and process your media. If that is like the first step, all of these sovereign nodes, local infrastructure, will be connected as part of the media layer that'll power the OmniFlix network as a whole. And this includes storage, compute, and of course, the ability to deliver media right to the clients or consumers' devices.
And creators could run their own events as much as we're doing for Cosmoverse, because this media node has been in development for a long time, because videos are in general heavy, and processing and everything around that goes to deliver media experiences is a bit of, a time bound and very sensitive. So we took a lot of time and made sure to test with studios that we already work with. You can technically do an unmanned and automated live stream that runs 24/7, 365 days without going down. So we made sure to do all of these because we wanted to deliver an experience that is flawless. I wouldn't say, but yes, at the same time amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll say flawless because in the last 3.5 years, the stream went down like thrice. Twice, it was none of OmniFlix's, it wasn't our problem. Channel, the YouTube channel got hacked and so on and so forth. But yeah, once we upgraded the infra and restarted. So in a span of 3 years, a live stream that was streaming onto YouTube by a record label went down only, or was taken down only thrice. and went back up almost immediately. And overall, streaming wise, completed 600 million watch minutes, that were streamed just using OmniFlix infra. You might have seen that in the AV, but it might have been too fast for you to notice. So that is the power of OmniFlix Media Tech. So the people that have been seeing Cosmoverse 2021, 22, and 23, you all experienced OmniFlix Media Infra, Media Tech Infra, and this is what will be opening up to the public, to the community going forward. Before that, before we finally conclude, there's one last thing. Again, how many of you were here for the Flix Fest? A huge shout out.
So you know the alphas, but otherwise...
Right. Of course, you all know what is coming up. But again, just a quick point about Flix Fest. 398 cosmonauts that attended, Interprotocol, Osmosis, StreamSwap, Strangelove, all of them supported, including Hugin Validator, who's a local team here, and massively helped put together the event. Without this kind of support, it would have been almost impossible for us to, host this and have a great evening together. So that about Flix Fest, and for those that were already there, you might know, but we are very excited and thrilled to share that OmniFlix is now working with Disney in India, right? So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, why are we even working with Disney? Or, Disney Star, that's the name of the organization in India. But why are we even working with them? This is primarily for their media IP distribution and for them to utilize Web3 for their community building. And we are very excited to share this because you're all Web3 natives, involved in the Cosmos ecosystem, and we aim to be involved with the community while also interacting with multiple organizations, studios, record labels, and more. So thank you all. It has been a pleasure being here, and hope you all have a great rest of the conference.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
This video is curated and edited by BlockchainFlix. BlockchainFlix seeks to curate and present content on blockchain and Web3 in a way that fosters education, promotes understanding, and advances meaningful conversations. Follow us on YouTube, X, Telegram,